Okay, so welcome to this playlist about this really rather beautiful huge folio that's seen better days. Hortus pestarum sacrae doctrinae floribus polymitus blah 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 blah. Published in Paris, 1670. So clearly seen better days. So I guess the first question to answer is what's special about this book? And are we going to learn anything different from this restoration, which we just completed a short while ago? This is the Sebastian Barodi 1622, which was a real comprehensive rebuild from basically loose sheets of paper and two completely bare boards. So the question is, will this tell us anything new? And the answer is no, but this has a surprise. And the surprise is that sticking out of the back is a whole load of medieval manuscript. So we've got a really nice opportunity to, in the process of basically saving this book, because these boards are just about ready to fall off, actually saving something else, something really precious, and maybe learning something about the history of both these pieces of parchment and the book itself. So let's have a think about what we're looking at here. And it's probably worth just going over a bit of the history of the Richfield Fragments project. It came about accidentally when I bought a couple of books that needed, that I wanted to basically recycle the leather to restore a couple of older books. And when I took the binding apart, these items fell out. And these are just examples. There's actually, if I just take the phone out of its holder for a second, there's actually a whole bunch of these all around my room here that are the result of that project. Really very, very beautiful pieces of medieval music that are 1,200 years old. Sorry, 800 years old, a date from the year 1200. And there was a lot of sort of academic activity around these manuscripts, so that gave rise to the Richfield Fragments project. And these are a couple of sort of unpaired examples, and how they were used was around the spine of a book. So basically they would add a little bit of support in between the raised bands to allow, to keep the leather separate from the underlying text block from a gluing standpoint and allow the leather to flex more evenly. And I've tried to continue that practice by using sort of card whenever I'm rebuilding the spine of a book. But what was really fun was it was possible to actually put these back together as a big jigsaw puzzle and actually get an understanding of what the original sheets of music look like before they were cut up by a bookbinder, 300 years ago, to use as scraps in putting books together. So that we basically have a small chance to do something similar here. These, I sort of had a little sort of peek under the leather here, and these look to be larger versions of these. Basically, they're a sort of half comb or half ladder shape, and I think what we're going to find is there's a whole strip of intact parchments down here that may have manuscript on it. And it'd be really amazing to actually harvest those, and if we're lucky, we may find that the two actually go together to form a larger piece of document, which would be really amazing. So the real fun with this book, although the restoration of this book is going to be very important and something I will be doing, the really important bit here is going to be the process of ever so carefully harvesting this manuscript, replacing it with, a modern card, a fabric, a material that will do the same job, as part of a proper restoration of the book to something that's going to set it there for the next 350 years. So that's basically the project. I will say, if you look closely at the raised bands, you'll see they're all broken, and that's, if you look at the way they're constructed, you can see that basically leather strips actually form the basis of the band, with obviously the thread coming through from each of the gatherings around this leather. And the problem is, if you use leather like this, leather contracts over time as it dries out, and so eventually it just sort of failed consistently all the way along because it was drying and contracting and so on. So there's really nothing holding these boards on other than a bit of glue and a bit of paper here and there. So a large part of the restoration is going to be around separating these two boards, doing a really careful extraction of the manuscripts, learning as much as we can about the manuscript. There may be some cleaning involved as well. So I should emphasize, when you extract manuscript from books, there's going to be paper, there's going to be glue, there's going to be all manner of nasty 300, 400-year-old detritus on the manuscript that's going to have to be carefully and painstakingly removed. It took me a very, very long time to get this manuscript back into this state. I can assure you can actually see some of the marbled paste down right here. There's still some flecks of it. So there's probably going to be a lot of cleaning to do, but we should get an idea pretty quickly on whether these fragments actually come back together and, potentially their significance. So exciting stuff. That's going to be the core of it, and hopefully go forward we'll have a fantastic set of new fragments of manuscripts together with a book that's nicely restored and set fair for the future.